Happy New Year.
Hey everybody, my name is Maud or Yahinkai. What's
That's
your
right.
name?
What's your name? Okay, so if you don't know me, my name is
Mhm.
Henrietta,
Okay.
but you can call me First Lady Hetty.
Period.
Her. I
Period.
can't. I can't.
Everybody, welcome to the first episode of SC Chat, Sister
Yes.
Chat
Sister Chat
TV.
TV.
Hello. And the concept of this was just pretty much just the phone calls, like our phone conversations
Right.
are going to be pretty much recorded for everybody
Ooh.
to see. Candid, as
Ooh.
real as it gets,
Raw.
raw. Okay?
And
We
if
will keep the
anyone
Bible
knows,
quotations to a minimum.
ma'am, thank you. Okay.
Oh,
And if
sorry, SC.
anybody knows, Sister Ya, it is going to be as raw as possible.
Yes.
Transparency. It's
Yes.
going to be fun. We have so many topics that we want to touch on and so many things we want to talk. So,
Yep.
Sister TV, for those of you all who have gotten the text messages, the
Hmm.
shares, the likes, it has officially launched. And this is
Yes.
our
So
first
share it.
episode.
Share it.
Yes.
Like we want this to be interactive. So
Right.
whatever you want us to talk about, whatever ideas you have, um, just comments, share it. But just be aware, all negative comments, you will be blocked.
Thank you. Thank
Period.
you, Sister Ya. But sister, you look cute today. I like those
You like
earrings.
this? So girl, the braids was getting old. So I
Okay.
said, let me do it one more time
All
before I take
right.
it down.
Okay.
Okay. So I think the way Cry Skyway, mommy had this before. Remember when she had the red braids?
Okay. Leave my mom alone. Okay.
Oh,
She
I'm sorry.
rocked those braids like a pro. But we have
We have digressed.
yes we have. So today, being our first episode, we want you all to
Uh-huh.
get to know a little bit about us. For those of you who may know us, maybe you know a little bit about us on surface level and things like that. But like we said, we want it to be transparent. It's going to be
Yes.
interactive. And so today,
Hmm.
we are shining the spotlight on our big sis, our mama, our granny,
Hmm.
our
Granny.
SE. I mean, you just everything in one. You know, we love
Granny.
you.
SE. What does SE mean?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Don't play
But
with me.
we
Okay.
we are going to shine the spotlight on our big sister. She's going to tell us a little bit about how she met her spouse. So today's episode is about Sister Ya and Daddy P. Shout out to Daddy P. We love us some Daddy P. Daddy P, we love you. He is our everything. So
Yeah.
shout out to Daddy P. But we
Hmm.
want to talk about how you all met
Okay.
from the beginning and how you are thus far. So we're gonna hand it over to you. Let's talk about it.
Okay. So how long do we have again?
Okay, ma'am. We have 27 minutes. So I
Lord.
need you to cram 30 years and
Okay.
27 minutes.
Okay. I'm gonna try.
Okay,
So like Sofa Mommy had Sienna Hatsi.
ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It's
So like
Hetty.
she said, me and my husband, we will be 30 years by God's grace next year. And
Oh, why are
so
you blushing so
we
hard?
because girl, I love him. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, so let me start. Okay, so let me tell y'all. Now, a lot of people that know me, you may know a little bit
Right,
about my
right,
story or maybe like what you heard and stuff.
right.
So I'm just gonna give it to you real. Um, I was introduced to my husband by a friend of mine almost 30 years ago. Okay.
Okay,
And so, we were talking on the phone and stuff, and he was in New York, okay, and I was here
okay,
in Texas. Now,
all right.
I had graduated from school, so from high school, so I was enrolled in college, and I was taking college courses and stuff. So we were talking and stuff, and he said he wanted to take me shopping, and I said, "Hey, Sa.
So
Okay.
that means at that time you probably thought you had like a baller. Like he's taking you shopping.
Shot collar. Yes. To me, you say you right in the way, Jim, because dying. Oh. And so those were the days. Now, mind you, it's almost 30 years. That was when, before like tickets were, you could just download it on your phone. Okay. So when he bought the
So let
ticket,
me ask this: were you guys communicating like through fax? Was email even around?
huh? What's it, fax, need email? I
I'm
know.
asking.
Just
Was
go ahead and
email
throw telegram in there. No, man, we were on the phone.
okay? Okay. I'm sorry. I
And
just
see,
wasn't sure. I'm sorry.
it's not a phone, but not cell phone, you know.
Okay.
And so he would call, on the house phone and stuff. And
Okay.
so like I said, and that was one thing, he was so prompt. Okay, so me for 4 o'clock. I'm at 3:59.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
I read it. No, Fred. And,
Okay.
and so, okay, oh, yes, of course. Why not? And see,
So question,
tickets,
I'm
no.
sorry. I'm gonna ask I have so many questions because I'm just,
Okay.
I'm so okay. How long after you met were you on your way to New York for the shopping spree?
Oh my, and no did not say premature clap, but still I know I wouldn't 3 months. And
Okay. Okay. Okay.
and I
Okay.
was just like, girl got me, saying, he got money and stuff and me so that time no me did
Right.
19.
Right.
Me did 19 to me go shopping. That time I
Right.
was in school. Now me my lady be down.
Right.
And see tickets or toy, he had to mail it.
Okay.
Okay. It's just so crazy how times have
Yeah.
changed. But
Times have changed.
he
Yeah.
he had to mail into ticket to buy, Of course, I went and checked the mail. That time, not plain beat. Me sure so cry not okay. Your friend is Sunjet. And today is Sunjet. Don't you see how I remember all this stuff? Sunjet. And see,
I can't.
so I got the ticket and it was early in the morning flight. And
Okay.
so now guy be a minimum. I don't know the name. I don't even know what the person looked like. But McCutcheon said, make him ride to the airport because that morning or not me were modeling gig be New York in T. Now it was
Okay.
said
Okay. Let's talk about it. Okay. 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 So first you're going on a shopping spree, right? And then you're telling the person who's dropping you off at the airport
Pastor
that
sa on your corner, that means me can say obi a ticket ama me say me go shopping spree. Tina me ko
okay.
ye adwuma bi e New York into me here right. And one
Okay.
simple and busa questions
Thank
be
you.
at. So I'll drop me and now me full plane. Okay.
Okay.
So it was the early morning flight. So I got there, Mijuya, and that was back then before when you could walk up to the gate, like where
Yeah.
you come out of before you go
Right.
to
Right.
baggage
Right.
claim.
Right.
So he was, and when we were talking and stuff, he had mailed me his picture, so I knew what he was, what he looked like. See, and I came out, and he was standing there, and I was like, oh, I had to say, he had a box. Girl, let me make sure he can't hear me. He had a box, a Gumby girl with some boots on and a big Tommy Hilfiger shirt. And I was like,
Okay,
oh,
look, no, no, no. We're not going to hate on Daddy P on his Tommy Hilfiger show. Let me tell you something. Daddy P had some swag, okay?
that's
And you
why we.
know,
So let me name my when you let me name. All I saw was a Gumby, and I was like,
you know
ooh.
what?
And I said, now all buying, nobody in chair.
Before your man too.
It's no buying chair. No, you're fresh.
Yeah, he was kind of fresh. I love Daddy P, but he was okay. It's
Girl,
okay.
yeah. And so I wouldn't so move by. I cut a new room, what's up? Yo. And Tina from my dear, you know what I'm saying? We were ready to go. So
I'm sorry. I'm
I'm
sorry.
trying to make sure he can't hear me. Because I tell him that's how he look. He swore up and down, girl. I'm just making it
That
right.
wasn't him. That wasn't
Uh-huh.
him.
So,
Okay,
we
so you
went.
see him with his Tommy Hilfiger shirt,
Mm-hmm.
which I mean, that honestly, you need to frame that shirt.
Oh, shit,
That should be a
Nicole,
family
recently I need
heirloom
to call
because
Ghana.
Daddy P did
He's
not
had
play.
it. He kept that. He had the boots. And I was just like, to say, I think it was probably 20 years in. I was like, it's time to get rid of it. See, well, Ghana, whole baby. We
Oh,
were not going to keep that as a family heirloom because when
I
nobody
think you
going to wear
should.
that. No, man, it's gone. So we went to visit. I'm saying not down for me.
No,
Yeah.
no,
And
no, no,
then,
no, 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 no. Let's go back. So
right.
you met him at the airport. At this time, it's not like you have FaceTime, so you haven't seen
Me
his face.
refi, me refi one key thing. So
Okay,
what? Obeshiamano, like when we make contact, obeshiamano.
right.
Walking girl the by now, which is
That's
something like
right.
that.
That's
Yeah,
right,
your fashion
Martell.
the pockets, Basi or Bible say, how do you find me? And I say, you ready? I say, really? Just say, oh, say, let me say, relationship experience, mama, let me need be.
Oh my goodness.
Ma,
Oh my
it's
goodness.
not when you know, say, baby, no one. So shopping, no, I am imagining a
Right,
neighbor shopping, New York.
right.
So, okay, how do you find me? And I'm saying, oh, oh, yeah, okay.
It's so silly.
And
No,
he
but
had a
honestly, how
he
did you
had
find
pretty
him?
teeth, huh?
How did you find him? What was the first impression? Like,
What I mean, that was the first impression was like, ooh, he's very African, and on
oh, that's
say,
it. Oh, that's it.
Debbie, on say,
Oh, that's it.
I. It's so crazy because I remember when I was in high school, I always used to say I would never marry an African. I don't even know why I said
Right.
that. It's
That was
just so
me too.
stupid,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so that's why I was just like, oh wow, okay. And so again, maybe they're not doing your shopping. Into
Okay.
Michiano, how do you find me? Be you okay? Into yeah, na your call, na down for you. Then we ended up in New York because I
Okay.
stopped in New Jersey. So New York, no, we went shopping at this street called Fordham Road. Okay,
Okay.
the Okoya,
Okay.
no. Me not shopping, no, as a me so because I was thinking that I'm coming home with 50 bags. I'm saying bag bed 3B number say 8. That.
And no, I don't know.
And one no.
And the disappointment, I credit them.
Mama, disappointment by more family mom say yeah, cause I was me. He
Yeah.
will skin me alive.
Wow.
So I looked at the clock and I think it was probably 3 or 4. To me, and I'm so okay with that. And just the naive me.
Right.
Oh my God.
Okay, so
Got me
let's rewind.
downstairs.
Oh, let's rewind.
Mm-hmm.
So you went to New York. You're going for a day shopping spree because you're a celebrity at this point.
Right. Celebrity status. Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. Activated. What
Mm-hmm.
did you tell mommy?
Also, Satan make school. And to me, sorry, I know, but make school. When you say make school, to me, the plan was say, make shopping, okay. And see that by the time member, no, now it's like I've been in school all day. You know what I'm saying? Also, school you go start early, you go call labs, and this time oh,
Not,
see, I'm
not,
my
not,
lab will be,
not, not.
but because it was early. Girl, it was like
Wow.
3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So I was like, oh, say it, hey, that time man, I would have been airport. And he told me, he said, oh, won't come baby, I'll be there. I was like,
Hey.
man, 8 day 8. So all I could think of was, yeah, I'm dead. My mother will kill
Yeah.
me.
Because it's not like you're not like driving distance. It's not like
Girl,
you can drive home.
I'm not even in Houston. Houston cried this whole bus to be at me.
Right. Right. Right.
I am on an airplane 4.5 hours, driving probably 24 hours. I'm on
Hmm.
country that nobody knew anything. And
Right.
so when mommy realized like around 6 o'clock, 7 that I wasn't
That you
home. She
weren't
knew
home.
that's something. So she started asking around and stuff. And during that time, not Papa B, there was an old man Bia or Ba. I think he's passed away. I'm in funny crazy. He had told him he wanted to marry me, and he was in New York too. So mommy thought that maybe I was with him. So I
Right.
think
Right.
they
Right.
found him, and he was like, "No, he don't know where I am."
Right.
And so that evening, though, like that evening went, missing persons, all points bulletin,
I can't.
not minute a nanayao. We used
Uh-huh.
to talk on the phone, so I had called him. He's like, man, where you at? I said, what's it? The whole yes is looking for you. I said, wait, I didn't. What's it? Your mother is looking for you. You are in trouble. Yeah, nah, me.
Wow.
And so, mommy, at that time, also, again, it was old. And, we used to have bills with Southwestern Bell. Shout out to Southwestern Bell now. What is Southwestern Bell right now?
I don't know. Is it AT&T?
Is it AT&T?
I
So
don't know.
Southwest Bell, when the bills would come, it would record all the phone numbers. So
Okay.
she was able to look and see all the 718s. So she
Okay.
called Napoku's number. And we had call ID. So I was able to see that it was her girl. You know, I was scared. Do you hear me?
And you
I
should
just
be.
felt like she was going to
And you
slap me
should
through that
be.
phone. Huh?
Yes, ma'am. I said you should be very scared because Mary O
But
did not play.
she didn't play that. She did
Right.
not play that. So I don't think we answered the phone for 2 days, but I think
Oh my goodness.
she knew said I was with Nanapuku at that
Okay.
time. Like I think she figured it out. So eventually he answered the phone. When he answered the phone, some words were exchanged and stuff. Then
So hold on. Let me go back. So you had my mother thinking that you ran away from home.
oh, I wouldn't say so run away. Say be a shopping spree, be a mistake, kakrabemu.
No,
And said I
because you
run
had her
away.
doing investigative work. I mean, she was, on phone logs and calling numbers.
Girl, going on the phone logs, girl, and I mean everybody was up in arms. Like it did,
Oh my
like people
goodness.
literally thought I just got up and ran away, but
Yeah.
that wasn't how it was supposed to be because in my
Right.
mind, me dreams the tickets no meet me assigned the about me name say na
Right.
Mura or ulterior motives.
It did. But it was. But it was.
Girl, so and afraid now mukasai na say west be no. And
Yeah.
my uncle is 4 hours away.
Right.
So the idea was go stay over there and to our school so and then once everything's kind of settled down you can come back or whatever. So my uncle
Okay, so
came and
did
got
you actually, let me ask you this. After mommy called a couple of times, you actually talked to mommy?
I don't think I spoke with mommy until I got to Uncle Paul. I
Okay,
was girl, let me say
how
I
long were
was
you?
scared for my life. He spoke with
Yeah.
mommy.
Okay.
And so when Uncle
So this is
Yang
like the
called,
next week or something, right?
yeah, it was like I think it was the next week or 2 weeks
Okay.
because I know say I spoke with my uncle. And then
Okay.
that's when we made the arrangements for him and his wife to come and pick me up. So they drove to New York and they picked me up. Then we went back.
Okay. Okay.
See, we went back, and it was in the middle of the school term. So I started
Right.
doing this vocational class or whatever beside tea. And I
Right.
mean, yeah, okay, maybe I so. And one day, be I said, "Na bibi na namiem."
Ish.
And I'm so, oh. And even that time, I think that I spoke with someone, and the person suggested, said, you know what, just go and do like a pregnancy test. You never know. Because I was having my cycle, right? Even
Right.
though the
Right.
cycle wasn't the normal 7 days or however long, as long
Right.
as I saw something, yeah, I got a
You
cycle.
were
You know
good.
what I'm saying?
Right.
I just didn't know.
Right.
So I went, and there was this place by the house. I went one day after class and gave my specimen. Didn't want anybody to know who it was, so I told them my name was Stephanie. See, I gave
All
the
right,
specimen.
Steph.
Okay, a girl said, I went and I camped out by the phone because it's a phone, no? Not a phone number anybody can answer.
Right. It's a house phone because you don't have
It's
a
a
cell
house
phone.
phone. And
Right.
see, I was right by the phone. See, phone the belly up it. I'm
Let me say
fine.
that time did they want that?
Ma, only time. Make the thing is because mine was so red. I didn't know. There's a line, no, near your basis because there's a
Oh my
Ibonyama and Kasa.
goodness.
See, the
Yeah.
test it didn't even take that long. So
Yeah.
as soon as I got home, it wasn't even that long. They called me and they were like, Stephanie available. And I was like, who? Like you have the wrong number. And I'll say, oh, this is so and so from wherever. And to a boarding, I'm kind of saying, yeah, me.
Yeah.
See, and I'm saying, oh, yes, yeah, this is Stephanie.
So Stephanie finally remembered her name was Stephanie.
Ma, and try then you.
And yet
They say,
it's
oh,
not
transfer, if you do
much.
baby, no one kite. Okay, not that needs to.
It's true. It's
And
true.
see, make us an
Let me just add this. There are lessons to be learned. Okay.
oh, oh,
Lesson one, the truth will set you free.
the truth will
Okay.
set you free every single time.
And then
Every
lesson
time.
two, when you lie, you will eventually forget that you lied.
Oh,
And then you'll be
oh.
exposed for life.
And you will be exposed, girl, because when I was like, oh, yeah, yeah, this is Stephanie. She's like, oh, okay. She's like, well, I was just calling from wherever.
Right.
Congratulations. And I was like, congratulations for Dane. She said, the test is positive. I said,
Oh my
not my
goodness.
test. So she said, I mean, it was just kind of like going back and forth, like, it's not mine. Maybe it's somebody
Yeah.
else's. Now I'll So, say, okay,
Yeah.
your first morning specimen, bring it. So, first morning, I had me a little cup, girl, wrap that thing up, took it over there, and 30 minutes. You do if you're near framing.
Wow.
Yeah, boy, my man,
Wow.
I am a dead man walking.
From
My
fire to
mother,
fire pan.
hi, ready. And so, of course, I told my husband. He was like, "No, I mean, I know he wasn't my husband then, but he was
Right.
like, no, because I called him straight up and I said, look, I'm supposed to be in school. Me, I don't know how I'm gonna tell my mama, and I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm not gonna tell my mother. So
Right.
what we're gonna do is, since me nyejuma misika, to Mr. So I'm gonna yen queen. He didn't want to, but I
Right.
convinced him. So he sent that time 300, and he mailed it again that time. Don't say
Right.
that money
Time is
transfer
different.
online.
Yeah.
So they buy it, and that time is me nyejuma. And also when you man cravings, basa, fungi,
Yeah.
ɛwɔ life mu sika na buy na me di drew appointment time like $40. Enti,
God knew what he was doing.
girl, me call appointment no muka and say, you know what? This is your last a appointment.
Hmm.
Like when you get to this far, we're just not gonna be able to do anything.
Right.
So he sent me. I started crying and stuff. So he sent me the money to
Hmm.
my appointment dates. No, I was going at that day, Mama. Nyame, listen. And they cry. Me see me Bible. No, me see me Bible quotations. Baby, remember about it. Ma, God knew send me. No, I sorry. No, just that
Yeah.
time. No. Yeah, ma, me kwa ni edi nechi, anami wo fe kwa
Yeah.
ni eti echi honom. Oh, just say
Right.
say ye bia. And see, no name say mistakes na ye
And
me. It's not
honestly,
like.
that time, let me just add, because that time, we were church hopping a lot, right? And we were
Mm-hmm.
really trying to find some level of
Right,
stability. So, yeah, it's understandable. Yeah, we
ma.
were just, yeah,
Enti me se me koya appointment yi because we catch him say hey mama and then why me ya yint ni you
right,
like okay
right,
so I me yeah no not me drive up so I was driving to the appointment girl snowstorm
mm,
me na musa flat tire na me si buye rade
wow,
I'm in the middle all I could remember was there was a lot of snow and it was woods like I don't even know where I was
yeah,
and so even though said not me will be able no. All I
right,
said was if God like doesn't kill me, right? If
mm,
nothing happens to me here, I'm not going to the appointment. I'm going home. I'm going to tell my mom.
yeah,
See, I was there, it was snowing and stuff, whatever. And then man came, helped me
yeah,
with the tire. And I said, you ain't got to say nothing else to me. I went straight home. I went and told my mom. I didn't tell mommy. I told
yeah,
her friend, and then her
yeah,
friend called her. So when
yeah,
her friend called her, I when her friend called her, all she said was, "Okay, come home." I
yeah.
said,
I mean, that motherly instinct is like, at this point, what can she do?
what can you
She
do?"
wants,
Because
she wants her baby back, and
girl, I could not believe it, and I was just like, I did all this and went through all that for what? When I could have just
yeah,
told her. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? When I could have just told her from the beginning. And
right.
so, what you got?
Good. Okay.
Oh,
Let me stop.
is it video? Oh, yes, we are recording. We are recording our
Let
show.
me see.
Sorry. Oh, kafra ready?
Oh
Me,
my
me cry, me
goodness,
style, me
that is
cry. Now yes, type. And so I went, and she said, "Come home." So when she said, "Come home," I was just like, "Oh my god!" And so I went, and I told my uncle said
yeah.
I'm leaving. So the next day I went back to New York. Then an uncle who bought me a ticket. Then I came back here.
And I remember,
To
I want to say this. I remember the day you came back, because I remember I was asleep, and then you came and you sat on the bed, and you like, "Hi, Nana, I'm back," and I was so happy because I was so mad at you that you left. That you,
Oh,
I was because let me tell you, who was going to school,
right.
and I felt like you like just ran off and just
No,
abandoned me.
girl, I was going shopping. That's all that was, girl. I was going on a shopping spree. I thought I was coming back with 50 bags, girl, a couple shoes for you.
But
And
when you came, like you sat down and you like, woke us up and told us that you were there. And I was like, looked at your stomach. I remember the outfit you had on and everything, but
hmm
just continue. All right.
yeah.
Sorry. I digress.
So then, I came back, had um I had Caleb,
Right.
and I was still in communication with Nana. But one thing too, I remember telling him that I didn't want to be a baby's mama. Like that
Okay.
was just, what I'm saying? Not that
Right.
anything's wrong with babies, mamas and stuff, but just me,
Right.
even at my age at that time, I didn't have like a whole list of, oh, I want this person, this
Right.
when I get married, because
Right.
that just wasn't even in the cards.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And me meeting him, just I feel so
Right.
um so I came back, I had the baby, he came here, we got married, and we've just been um going through life together. But what I will say is I will not recommend this
Yeah.
route for anyone. I
Well,
wouldn't.
and I have a couple of questions. I'm
Okay.
sorry. So, with that being said, so do you feel like you marrying, was it like something you were forced to do? Did you do it out of fear? Like, what was your emotional state? Like, did you even like him, love him? Like, where were you at emotionally when it was like by the time y'all
hmm
got married?
So I liked him. Okay, I liked
So
him.
you were in like with him. You weren't
I
even in
was
love.
I was in like, because I
Okay.
just felt like, I didn't have that much relationship experience.
Right.
I didn't have relationship experience. I didn't have, you know, um, any expectations. I just was like, oh my
Right.
God. The only thing that was in my head was, I don't want to be a baby's mom.
Right.
And, he also didn't want his children or child to call somebody else dad.
Mm.
That was
Okay.
his thing. Okay.
Okay.
So it just kind of made sense for us to just make it official, even though I would tell you we didn't know each other that long. It was like what,
Right.
3 months? And then,
Right.
I got pregnant, and all that stuff. And we just had to figure it out. It was just literally on the job training, because
Right.
I didn't know anything. He didn't know anything. And it was
Right.
so hard. And
Yeah.
a lot of people that I can say I started with,
Right.
you know. And one thing too that I will say is, because of the person that he is, the
Yes, Daddy
calm.
P. I mean, I love Daddy. I love me some Daddy P because Daddy P. He's a good person. He has like a he from the time he came to the house, he's always been like a big brother, and that's how Mommy
Yeah.
took him as her firstborn son.
Right.
And he's
Right.
just a good genuine person. And I mean, shout out to Daddy P.
Period.
We love you, Daddy P. But one thing too, just to add, like you're saying, you all didn't know each other, and
No.
I'm sure you were afraid just of the unknown. You don't really know the person you're about to marry,
hmm
and you're kind of like you make a decision
Yeah.
to walk into marriage with a lot of unknowns,
Yeah.
and by God's grace, you guys have been 30,
Almost
almost
30.
30 years
Almost
strong.
30. And that's the thing, like I was saying, the kind of person that he is, and then
Yeah,
me, Nana, Mama, I did not, like, divorce just wasn't an option for me.
it was an option, right?
It just
And,
wasn't
and
an
and
option.
and it wasn't an option because you didn't have nowhere to go back to. Because,
Girl,
ma'am,
because
once
my
you
mama
left
would have told me, take
no
your
returns,
luggage,
no returns, no exchanges. You don't have nowhere to go
period.
back to. So
All
you just
sales
got to stick it
final.
out.
All sales
I
final.
can't. And honestly, let's I always want to have moments to just thank God for the mother we had,
Yes.
because I strongly believe that if any of us are where we are is because we had that woman praying
Oh,
for us like
absolutely.
all the time. And so
Absolutely.
it's her prayers and her
Yep.
strength and her life stories that has gotten us to where we we are. And I do not doubt that you were on the top of the list.
But
Um,
then
but I'm just saying, I mean,
don't play with me. You
I'm
over there
not,
trying to
look,
be shady.
I'm
No.
not, ma'am. I promise you I'm not.
Listen,
But
for her to be a single mom
yeah,
raising three girls, and three
yeah,
girls ain't got like 15 baby daddies or 15 kids, and
that
we're
is,
all just, you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like we're
And it was some
lit.
tough times. We've had some tough times. We'll talk about that, girl.
It's on the
We will talk,
list.
we will talk about it. We will
It's
talk about it.
on the list.
So yeah, God is good, and I just thank God for blocking those. Even though you weren't in a place emotionally and mentally to
Yeah,
be a mother,
yeah,
but God said you're going to do this, and by
yeah.
God's grace, He's been able to carry you this far, and I'm so happy He did because I love my Caleb. That was my
I
firstborn,
know he's just the sweetest, and it's
and
just it's just like I appreciate mommy so much for like I was scared for my life.
yeah,
She put the fear of God in you, even at my age. I mean, he to say 19, go for it, I'm glad you're 19, and they think they know everything. They think so
yeah,
big to me. But for her to be able to raise us by herself
yeah,
and still put the fear, because girl, I was scared. I was like,
yeah,
hey, you right there dealing with my baby. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And I wasn't experienced in anything. I'm telling you, I led such a sheltered life.
Yeah. That's another
Such a
episode, ma'am. That's another episode. You're getting
oh,
into episode 10.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
We're not there yet.
Ude
But True.
Trotoho. Oh, but
Noted.
still, like,
Noted.
that's why I'm just so thankful to God for like
Yeah.
everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything that I've been through, I don't
Yeah.
regret anything. I feel that everything that I've been through, it has made me who I am. Do you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Um, and again, like I said, I would not recommend
Yeah.
this non-traditional way,
Right.
because in just a traditional relationship, meeting a
Right.
person, courting,
Right.
getting engaged, and doing, it's still difficult. But just imagine you just
Right.
knew him literally for
Right.
3 months. Y'all don't have your finances together. You don't know each
Cultural
other's
differences. Cultural differences.
cultural.
Yeah.
Yeah, mama can I you, because why wouldn't me buy hanum me buy ha 8 as
Right. And it
nti
was
wa wonim
different
sɛ na
times
Keisha
back
ne wɔ mu
then.
na Keisha ne wɔ mu na Sam Houston ne wɔ mu.
Right. And the
Oh,
thing is, back then, like I feel like marrying someone abroad back then had to be like 1,000 times harder because it wasn't like TVs where people can see how we do things here and how we live. It was like from one to like it was extreme. So
no, it was
with that, I'm
extreme.
sure, yeah, it was a lot of
It was
difficulties there.
eh, it was
Yeah.
extreme because on say wo worry no wouldn't on your corner tonight. You don't even know the person.
Right.
But just imagine. You don't even I don't even think I knew his favorite color. Like it was like that. You know what
Y'all
I'm
didn't have
saying?
time for that. Y'all,
No.
you jump from hi, I'm going shopping to mommy and
I
daddy. Like there was no room. There was no room for colors.
hmm.
Yeah. But
And
I
to
thank
be
God
I
because
just
I see you guys now and I see how you all are enjoying each other. Like you all
yeah,
are in your dating phase, like you are traveling, you're enjoying, and like you're saying, everyone's story may not end like this. And so
yeah.
I appreciate your transparency and your honesty because there might be somebody who is in the current situation now and they kind of feel like all hope is lost, right?
No,
But
it's not.
just even before we kind of wrap up, because we our chats are really sweet and short. Okay.
Period.
Sweet and
Yeah,
short. So
yeah.
just before we wrap
That's
up,
it.
if you can just kind of give us like a couple of things that you all stood on that kind of helped you to get to where you are now, where you can actually say that you still like you love each other, you like each other.
I
Like there's
mean,
some people they don't
like
like each
it's not
other.
even like, and you know what? That's one thing that I used to always worry about when we were getting
Yeah.
married was, what if one day I get up and I don't like him?
Right.
And I think so, do you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I was so young, like that's what I was
Right.
thinking. But I really feel like when you are in a situation, you just have to, no matter what it is, you just have to know that divorce is not an option.
Yeah.
Divorce is
Once
not an
you say I do, it's
right.
I do.
That's it.
Right.
That you have to be willing to work through everything. And so many things are going to be thrown in your direction, you just
Right.
have to be willing. And you know what? Another thing too, we've been married for almost 30 years, but I can tell you that even my mother never knew, not like we've got the perfect relationship and we don't
Right.
have any issues, but we're here in these four corners
Yeah.
by ourselves. And
Right.
so whatever issues we have, we work it out amongst each other. We don't need a third person. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Because people like to bring people into their issues. When you bring people
Yeah.
into their issues, but we're not. Oh, and see,
Yeah.
I just feel sad. Both of you have to equally want it to be successful.
And be intentional, right? Like it's
Yep.
not marriage. Look, marriage in and of itself, which is another episode. Let me tell you something. We have so many episodes, but
Girl.
marriage in and of itself is challenging, right?
Yeah.
But then to add other kind of things to it, to the equation, makes it even more challenging, you
Makes it
know.
even more challenging.
But you have to be intentional and say that, you know what, we're going to work this out. We have to
Hmm.
work it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no out either. And one thing too, I would say that when your motivation is that you want to be in your house and you want to be happy. Nobody wants to live with somebody for the rest of their life and be unhappy. So
Right.
whatever we have to do to be able to live in our house and be happy, that's what we're going
That's
to do.
it.
So we got to
That's
work it.
it.
We
Right.
have to
But
work it out.
both of you have to want, you know what I'm saying? Because you
Right.
can't say, I this is what I need to be happy, not with spouse, no. Or no, that he's over here doing something else. Like if you guys
Right.
are not, you know,
On the
doing
same
it
page.
together,
Yeah.
it's just not gonna work. And
Yeah.
um, like I said, remember the traditional way, non-traditional way. Obi nim the way I am it, like how he's gonna have you guys cross paths.
Yeah.
But if you feel say you love that person, or if you feel said, that there's something there, you
Hmm.
know, go for it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
just
isn't
go
that
for
sweet? I thank you for being honest and just being transparent, because I know you
it. Hmm.
crammed your story and I gave you some extra
Right.
time.
I mean, I
You weren't,
skipped
ma'am,
so
you weren't paying
many
attention to the time.
years
You weren't. I'm just going to be honest. You went a little over, but it's okay. It's okay.
over.
It's okay. It's okay.
How many
But
minutes?
you were able to cram 30 years in like 30 minutes, and I know there
Oh
was
my
more
God,
to the
yeah. One
story.
year,
Yeah.
a
Yeah, but I
minute.
know it's more to the story than that, and we're gonna have time in our different chats to go through it.
Right.
So, God bless you for that. And
Thank you.
I always say that when you find God, either if you find Him early in life, which is perfect, if you find Him later in life, wherever time you find Him, when you surrender your life, your everything to Him,
Hmm.
God finds a way to make things that may not necessarily look the best way, and he's
Yep.
able to turn that around for you and turn those tests into testimonies.
Oh,
I,
oh,
I don't want to preach today. I mean, we already went to church, but just
Mama.
to just give
Hmm.
someone an ounce of hope that just,
Yes.
whatever predicament you find yourself, just turn it over to God and let God
Turn it
take
over.
control.
Turn
And
it over.
he will definitely allow testimonies and blessings to come from that, because 30 years is not easy. So God bless you,
No.
and we are praying for 60, 70, 80 more
Amen.
beautiful years that you all can
Amen.
enjoy yourself. So God bless you for sharing your story. This is just a
You too,
tidbit.
baby.
So next week or next time we're going to talk
Next
about
week.
mine, which mine is a little different.
What you trying to say?
I'm not saying nothing, I'm just saying
Okay.
it's just
All
a little
right. I'm
different.
just trying to see. I'm just
It's
trying
a
to
little
see.
different,
I'm
and
just trying to see.
it's
Uh-huh.
kind of ironic because it's different, but it's similar, because you met Daddy P at 19. Me and Pastor kind of started talking at 19. Like,
$2,
isn't that
baby.
cute?
Two
Thank
dollars.
you.
That's
We'll
all
talk
it
about the
took.
$2 next time. But
Mm-hmm.
God bless you for sharing with us. And this is just a tidbit. This is just a
Yeah.
tidbit
Oh, there's
of
so
what we
much
have to talk
more.
about. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Y'all, just subscribe, share,
Yes.
because
Like,
we want this to be like a community, okay? We want this to
right.
be a community. So let's,
Right.
share, let us know what questions you have. What
Right.
questions you have. Yeah.
And nothing's off the table. Like, we're talking marriage, we're talking everything. Like, everything that's anything is being
Yeah.
talked about. We're talking about
Period.
depression, we're talking about
Yeah.
mental health, we're talking
Hmm.
about all of that. So this is episode 1.
Narcissist, like all of it.
This is episode 1, season 1. Thank you. Thank you. Episode 1, season 1. So we're gonna continue next time. So like Sister Yah said, please like, share, subscribe.
Yes.
And join us next week as we continue in the Sister Chat TV. So until then, Sister Yah,
Be
what?
blessed.
Bye.
Bye.